Good evening and welcome to FAMU News 20 at 5. I'm Joanne Charisma. Sale High School welcomed the Holocaust Education Resource Council to their campus. Sale High School is one of many schools the council has visited in efforts to teach the history of the Holocaust. The council presented the Living Museum where students listened to the experiences from a Holocaust survivor. It has been over a month since the death of Robert Myers, an elevator worker at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital. Myers died while working in the elevator shaft, and it has been recently ruled an industrial accident, according to police reports. Interest rates have not discouraged new home construction. Angelicia Bruton tells us more.
More newly constructed single-family homes are on their way. Florida's housing market wrapped up 2016 with more new listings than the previous year, according to data released by Florida Realtors. And with the population in Tallahassee steadily growing, new home construction is just getting started. Lynn Edwards, executive officer of the Tallahassee Builders Association, says buyers may be hesitant to purchase a home due to Florida's interest rates on mortgages increasing.
It's the younger ones and the first-time home buyers that it would affect. And yes, for affordable housing, that would be devastating to go backwards.
Florida's interest rates have not affected sales for Jason Gosvini, vice president of Premier Fine Homes. Gosvini says the issue is a limited amount of lots, but builders are making room for new development.
There's not a huge industry that helps drive salaries for people, and so therefore not a huge industry that helps drive people buying homes. So therefore Tallahassee's lacking development, and luckily here, just in the past few years, the market has done a little bit better and therefore driven the need for lots, which is then therefore driven the need for development in Tallahassee.
Gosvini also says his sales have not been affected by interest rates due to buyers feeling a sense of urgency to purchase now before the next increase.
Bulldozers like this one are being used to develop acres of new homes in Tallahassee. With the population continuously increasing, the expansion of home building has become essential. For News 20, I'm Angelicia Bruton.
Although interest rates continue to change, buyers can still expect to see new developments. Stern Street is one of those new developments that will be welcoming in college students. Clearing over 12 acres of land has begun for a new student housing project that stretches from Lake Bradford to Stony Valley Way, located off South Gain Street. The project is part of the Stadium Overlook development and is to cost $55 million. Florida State student says more housing is a perfect addition to College Town.
It's exciting because every time they build a new place, like the competition goes up and they get nicer every time, and the rent goes down every time because there's more competition.
Revitalization of Frenchtown has created an uproar in the community. Frenchtown residents filled the city commission's meeting to stop the sale of almost an acre of land to a Georgia developer. Frenchtown is a historically black neighborhood, and several residents voiced the new developments takes away from the history of a community during the meeting. Although the sale of the land has been delayed by the city commissioners, they were able to vote on tree management. After receiving much criticism due to loss of power during Hurricane Hermine, city officials and Mayor Gillum have been looking to new ways to prevent this from happening again. One way is with buying power lines. The city commission voted to adopt a cost-sharing policy to put power lines underground. In more news regarding the city commission, fracking is now banned in Tallahassee. This ban prohibits the practice of high pressurized and often acidic fluid into oil. Tallahassee is now the 75th city in Florida to ban fracking in efforts to preserve the Florida aquifer. If you have not participated in the March of Museums event, you still have some time. March of Museums commemorates Florida Heritage Month by highlighting the history of Florida's past and present. Events will be taking place until April 15th, and more details will be available at visittallahassee.com. Florida Children's Week is also underway, and today's event is a teen town hall meeting hosted by Florida YMCA Youth in Government. Teens will be able to work with the Florida's Children and Youth Cabinet on issues relating to children's services. Coming up, should skill milk be referred to as imitation milk? Find out. The answer will be here after the break. You're watching News 20 at 5.
In your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
Florida courts ruled that skim milk should not be referred to as imitation milk. Imitation milk does not contain added vitamins according to the Florida state law. The ruling overturns a federal judge's decision to side with the FDA to make O'Cheesy Creamery, located in Calhoun County, added labels for not adding vitamin A. Cincinnati police responded to a shooting at a nightclub early Sunday morning. One person was killed and 16 were injured, according to Cincinnati police. Police do not have any suspects in custody, but are interviewing witnesses. The Republican Party's plan to repeal Obamacare failed last Friday. Andrew Spicer tells us more.
The pressure, the arm twisting, the ultimatum, they have all fallen short.
I will not sugarcoat this. This is a disappointing day for us. Doing big things is hard. All of us, myself included, we will need time to reflect on how we got to this moment, what we could have done to do it better.
House Speaker Paul Ryan deciding to pull the Republican Obamacare repeal and replacement plan, hours after traveling to the White House to tell President Trump directly he didn't have the votes to pass it, and warning, one source said, that the loss on the House floor could be big.
Obamacare is the law of the land. It's going to remain the law of the land until it's replaced. We did not have quite the votes to replace this law. And so, yeah, we're going to be living with Obamacare for the foreseeable future.
A jarring realization less than 24 hours after the president himself made his final offer. Vote now or he's prepared to move on.
I think we have to let Obamacare go its way for a little while, and we'll see how things go. I'd love to see it do well, but it can't. I mean, it can't. It's not a question of, gee, I hope it does well. I would love it to do well. I want great health care for the people of this nation, but it can't do well. It's imploding and soon will explode.
But sources tell CNN the votes simply never materialized, leaving the president to answer questions about a looming failure of his first and biggest legislative push.
Do you think it's going to pass?
See what happens.
Although the vote was not in President Trump's favor, he tweeted yesterday saying, "Democrats will make a deal with me on health care as soon as Obamacare folds." Jared Kushner, son-in-law of President Trump, has volunteered to testify in the investigation between the Trump campaign and Russian officials. Kushner didn't meet with Russian officials, but White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer says Kushner was only doing his job.
Did a job during the transition in the campaign where he was a conduit to leaders, and that's until we had a State Department, a functioning place for people to go.
Tropical cyclone Debbie is rapidly approaching Queensland, Australia, where thousands have been advised to evacuate. According to Joint Typhoon Warning Center, the storm could intensify to a Category 3. The short-term lodging service Airbnb is looking to expand the size of their workforce in China. China is a highly populated country and has a huge market for tourism. The only problem is Airbnb has to compete with Tuja, a Chinese vacation rental service that controls a huge portion of the market. Coming up, it's time to bring out those pom-poms because spring games are on their way. You're watching News 20 at 5.
Every day, our brave troops and their families stand up for us.
For years, we've asked so much of so few.
Now we have a chance to serve these heroes.
To give time, offer comfort, or lend a hand.
To ease the burden on a military family.
Let's honor their service by volunteering ours.
football practices are scheduled to begin this week, leading up Florida A&M's orange and green game. The spring game will be held April 15th. FAMU's football team did not have a spring game last season due to academic progress sanctions. This is Coach Alex Wood's third season with the Rattlers, and he's looking forward to the scrimmage. After just a few days of practices, Coach Wood tweeted that it is the year of the Rattlers. Although Florida A&M's basketball team's record of wins decreased from 8 to 7 this season, Giovanni Hampton was able to capture one of the largest turnouts in the Al Lawson Center during the FAMU and Bethune-Cookman game.
Students flooded Florida A&M University's Gaither Gymnasium for a celebration of homecoming week to watch the biggest rivalry game of this basketball season against Bethune-Cookman. Athletic Director Milton Overton says the outcome was a success.
Our fan base they're attracted to success, and also this was the homecoming reunion for our former basketball players. So we're proud to have them back, and so we have a big crowd there.
Lady Rattlers head coach LaDon Gibson said she was excited about the victory and outcome of the event over the arch rival BCU. The celebration brought out the band, fans, free food, and music.
The athletic rivalry between BCU Wildcats and FAMU Rattlers always brings out a great crowd, and this basketball competition just happens to land during their homecoming weekend, which makes the competition even more intense.
Fans anticipated for both teams to win this homecoming week, but the men's team fell 55-54 to the Wildcats. After the game, junior forward Malcolm Bernard says this game was supposed to be a win.
Last game, they embarrassed us at their home court. And we just wanted to show everybody that, that game was fluke and we should have won.
Over 6,000 people filled Gaither Gym, and alumni gathered in celebration of homecoming week and the entertainment performance of the Marching 100 during halftime.
This was Coach Brian Samuel's third and final season with the Rattlers. Today is Pro Day for Florida State's former running back, Dalvin Cook, who is a top prospect for the 2017 NFL Draft. During his time at FSU, Cook has broken many records of rushing over 4,000 yards and over 45 rushing touchdowns. Hours after winning the Orange Bowl, Cook announced his decision to enter the NFL Draft. The NFL Draft is scheduled to begin Thursday and end Saturday. March Madness is finally starting to heat up as we get down to the Final Four. North Carolina will make their 20th appearance in the Final Four, while Gonzaga, Oregon, and South Carolina will make their first. Baseball has started spring training, and according to ESPN's power ranking, and Chicago clubs are expected to win the World Series again. Last season was the club's first time winning the series since 1908, and it looks like they have no plans of slowing down anytime soon. Coming up, find out more about Dragon at a local park. You're watching News 20 at 5.
Florida A&M University students have explored international cultures while discovering what they can become.
From Hong Kong working as a camp counselor to the Dominican Republic for the Study Abroad program, I discovered my passion for international studies. As Miss FAMU, the university has prepared me to represent my institution in the global market.
Discover what you can become.
Descubrir lo que puede llegar a ser.
Yeah, what she said. For more information about our Study Abroad program, visit discoverfamu.com.
Local artist W. Stanley Proctor has created several sculptures at McCord Park. Proctor is an award-winning artist and is well known for his statue of Bobby Bowden at Doak Campbell Stadium. To help Proctor's dream come true, he worked with city officials in parks and recreation. McCord Park now has new sculptures of children playing throughout the park at Komodo Dragon. Today is National American Diabetes Association Alert Day, which sheds light on the prevalence of type 2 diabetes. There will also be a free type 2 diabetes risk test available online at diabetes.org. Well, that's all I have for you this evening. For News 20 at 5, I'm Joanne Charisma. Thank you for tuning in.